Hi everyone, I am Maria Moncayo, and in this presentation I will examine the structure of my comparing article, Form Follows Fiasco. This is a comparison between two architecture styles, modernism and postmodernism. Before I start talking about the structure of my article, I will express the purpose of writing. I am an architecture student, and this is the reason why I am interested in this topic, and also I consider that I have acquired enough knowledge to talk about, to write an essay or to prepare an essay based on my own thoughts. I consider this an interesting topic for those who do not study architecture because these differences are replicated in themes like art, literature, filming, and even politics. To start, I'm going to divide this talk into 5 parts: title, introduction, main body, conclusion, and references. A basic point was using a creative title that will attract the reader to read my article. That's why I use Form Follows Fiasco. Arriving at the introduction, I start questioning the reader. Have you ever wondered why buildings should be all square and boring? This is an approach to the reader followed by the main introduction paragraph. Here I define briefly modernism and postmodernism and explain the reader. I'm going to divide this paper into differences, similarities, and arriving to a conclusion. My next point is the main body, where the major concern was comparing both styles, modernism and postmodernism. I use the same paragraph structure for both styles that are using the past as references, origin of its form, and examples. The first 3 paragraphs are about modernism, where I start talking about the context in which modernism was born and how it rejects the past. The following paragraph is about the purpose of form follows function that help shape its buildings. And I end with some iconic examples like Le Corbusier or Mies van der Rohe that helped shape modern architecture. The following paragraphs are about postmodernism, where I mentioned that against modernism, postmodernism use the past or take past references and merge them with new kind of architecture using a new kind of technology. And then I explain in another paragraph why it retakes the losing values of human and context for taking a form of a building. Finally, I point out Robert Venturi as an iconic example and some of its projects as cases of study for postmodernism. To summarize, I mentioned some of their similarities, like reaching a pure form in architecture and taking the past into account. And I introduced my personal opinion, where I mention what I think architecture should be or should follow. As I've been saying, this is an interesting topic for me as an architecture student, and I have read a lot of books in history classes to take them as references. Also, I use books read by the same authors I mentioned as cases of study, and I investigated examples of their projects in their official web pages. Also, I searched in the university digital repository for articles like in JSTOR to help me develop my essay. Finally, I want to share with you some experience I had while writing this paper. In the first place, it was interesting to review themes treated in class and to arrive again to a personal opinion or a conclusion on what I think architecture should be. I think it's really important to know how it has been built to be able to build in the future. Also, it was an interesting attempt to universalize this theme to a varied public as you are, and try to avoid using academic vocabulary, and also address the reader directly in order to make you feel part of my paper. Finally, I think that writing was one of the best practices to avoid committing grammatical mistakes, and also knowing how to use the upper rules well. I'm very happy to receive your comments, and I will pass through your videos and comment on them too. Thank you very much for your attention.